Take a bite of this. You want to see how that tastes?
Hello everyone, my name is Denise Turner. I'm the Chief Executive and Board President of this beautiful building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And as I always say, hello, beautiful people. So thank you so much for being here today as we honor Javon Johnson. Javon is one of our important partners, and when we found out that he was here directing and starring in a play, Is God Is. So we have these pamphlets here, you guys, and they're down here as well. I want to recognize the cast. Can I have the cast stand up, because they were fantastic. They were absolutely fantastic. Demetria and I went to see the play Friday night, so you guys should go see it at the Bare Bones Theater Productions in Braddock, and just it keeps you on the edge of your seat. Like, even, you know, there's a description. There's like an underlying premise to this. Nothing like what you're going to experience when you go. So please go. So today we have our dear Mayor, Ed Gainey, and the mayor is going to, he's here. He's here to do something special, you know, for Javon. Now, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble. Don't want to get in trouble.
Don't get in trouble.
We won't tell. Okay, but normally when we have dignitaries among us, we say something, but it just so happens that this dignitary is my aunt, and she's very, very humble. Yes. But you all have heard of her. Her name is Betty Copeland. She is the mayor of Pittsburgh. We do that when we have company and family. It's what we do, so I'm sorry she doesn't usually like that, but she's a history-making mayor. She's the first woman, the first Black, and the first octogenarian mayor. Yes. When she became mayor, she was in her 80s. That tells us all that we can do whatever we want to do. No matter how, you know, it's a blessing. So with that, I'm going to pass the mic to Mayor Gainey.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Good. I too gotta say, Mayor Betty, thank you. Now, she ran for office in her 80s. Now think about it. You know, they always say what God got for you, no one can take away. A lot of times we don't believe that. But it's different when you get to see a shining star right before you. And she comes to all the meetings. We had the Black mayors get together. She's at all the meetings. So she's just not mayor by title. She's actually mayor by action. So I think y'all should give her another round of applause. Martha, can you stand up? You stand up? Yeah, stand up. You. Me? You know. Mark, stand up. Here's why I want to recognize you before I bring Javon up. You've hit the ground running, man. Yeah. Every event that has made a change in the city from a cultural standpoint, you have made sure that Dollar Bank did an equity in it and really put their money where their mouth is. And everywhere I go, and I get around, everywhere I go, you there. And you ain't there just to show up, you there after you put equity in the game. And there ain't a lot that I can say has done that. And I think that y'all should give this brother a standing ovation. First, let me say thank you. Thank you, man. We need more of you. We need more of this type culture to make this city welcoming. In order to impregnate this culture to make it more welcoming to everybody, they need to see black art. And the fact that you came here, you done this play, I want to say thank you as the mayor and let you know I appreciate you. And so I'm gonna read this. Whereas Javon Johnson was born to Linda Gear and Timothy Adger, did I get it right? And okay, say it again. Adger. In a family of 2 older sisters, 1 younger sister, in the great state of South Carolina. Additionally, Mr. Johnson is blessed with a 25-year marriage, 3 beautiful children, including a set of twins. And where's Julia? Say it again. Yeah. Go ahead, Dr. B. Come on. And whereas Javon is successful, multi-talented black artist, including a playwright, acting coach, producer, screenwriter, director, and actor. Early in his career, Mr. Johnson was mentioned by August Wilson. Wow. And whereas he attended and graduated from the University of Pittsburgh, where he was a member of the last graduating class to receive a master's in fine arts. And whereas although best known on TV, Javon has often been on stage, which includes different Pittsburgh theaters, which he performed in several shows at Contest Repertory Theater, New Horizon Theater, Pittsburgh Irish and Classical Theater, City Theater, Pittsburgh Public Theater, and Bare Bones Theater. That's my eyes, man.
We're the readers.
I ain't got no readers. I don't need no readers, Dom. Whereas over the years, Javon has amassed an amazing and award-winning body of work and had the unique distinction of being featured in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette alongside the late, great August Wilson, after both being honored at the Edward Albee Theater Conference. He is also the founding artistic director of Bear Fruit Conservatory and founding ensemble member of Congo Square Theater Company in Chicago. He learned playwriting and acting in Wilson's plays. Javon is currently starring in Tyler Perry's The Oval, and he is also scheduled to produce, direct, and write 3 feature films later this year. Yes.
Thank you for watching this video of Pittsburgh Events. To watch this video again or any other video from Pittsburgh Events, you can go to the YouTube channel. It's 18 Rico. It's youtube.com/18RICCO. Again, thank you for watching, and you can check out this video and any other video from Pittsburgh Events and many other videos that didn't make it on TV.
Whereas Pittsburgh welcomes Javon back as he directs and acts in Is God Is. You hear that, Betty? Yeah. Is God Is. A darkly funny drama at Bare Bones Publications in Braddock, PA from February 24, 2023 to March 12, 2023. And whereas Javon became founding artistic director of Bear Fruit Conservatory and founding of Congo Square Theater Company in Chicago, and learned playwriting from and acting in Wilson's plays, August Wilson is happy to honor him as a friend and partner with a reception today. But his marriage is
love you for this proclamation. I am. So pass the mic.
Okay, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's quite the honor. I mean, getting the call to come work on the show. I never expected that this would be happening. as a result of that, which shows that we never know the journey that we're on. We just have to trust and have faith and just walk and be obedient. And coming from where I came from, Chadwick Boseman and I, the late great Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, we were born and raised in the same hometown. And Chadwick and I were very close friends. We did a lot of work together. But when I look at where he arrived in his career and I look at where I am today, and I look back at home, this wasn't supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to happen. He was supposed to play, he was trying to be a basketball player at some point. Fortunately, there was a white coach there who didn't take particularly to black athletes and held him back, not knowing what he did for this man, what path he put him on, because otherwise he'd have been playing college ball. And I played against Chadwick several times in LA when he was in LA, and I never beat him. And I'm not letting it go, because I'm older and I felt like I should win. But he was younger, had those legs. And I look at that, and I look at where I am today, and it's only by the grace of God. Yes. And it's only by trusting that I don't have to know the outcome. I just have to be prepared and obedient and listen, because He's always speaking. And if I'm there for the word, I'll receive, and I can walk in faith in that. And this is where I am today as a result of that. So thank you.
And so now we're going to get to know Javon a little bit more. So we learned a little bit about him through the proclamation, but we have our very own Mikey Hood from KDKA here today. And Mikey and Javon, she will ask them different questions, and you guys will be able to ask questions, as well. And while they're getting seated, I'm so glad that the mayor didn't want to put Morton on display. But, the big, beautiful block party that we had? Yes. So one of the things that the mayor just talked about with Morton Stanfield contributing to the city, that block party that you see going way up and way down, and the fun with the kids and all the music, Dollar Bank has been our presenting sponsor since 2019. What the mayor said is actually, a reality for August Wilson House.
All right, Dollar Bank. All right, it's good to see everyone this evening. I feel like everyone in the room already knows Javon and have worked with him in some sort of capacity. So the mayor covered a lot in your proclamation. So let's just get down to the real nitty gritty. What do you really think about Pittsburgh? Tell the truth, because
listen, at the end of the day, as I spoke about the state of South Carolina not really having a direct contribution to what my career is, I can't say that about Pittsburgh though. Because when you connect the dots in retrospect, because sometimes we don't know where we're headed, and I say Pittsburgh was absolutely necessary as a key moment in my life, time in my life that became a part of the rest of my journey. So had I not come to Pittsburgh, perhaps that meeting and relationship development with August Wilson might not have ever happened.
Let's talk about that key moment. So you're meeting with August Wilson.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's a running joke I'll tell you about this later. But the colleagues of mine at the time always claimed that I threatened August Wilson, and I didn't. But I'll tell you. But I told it was at the time they was doing the Black Theater Summit tour, and August Wilson was speaking he was doing a speech on the ground on which I stand at Dartmouth College. I think it's in New Hampshire or Maine, Dartmouth College.
Dartmouth?
Yeah.
You went smart out there?
I think it's in Maine.
Maine?
Right.
Maine.
And the late, great Dr. Vanilla Lilly wanted to take us up there, several artists of color, to experience that. And so I went up there, and at the time, August had just had his baby. She was in his arms, she was an infant. And he came to the lobby, and I was like, "It's August Wilson." And I'm with my crew, and I'm like,
when was this?
This is, I don't know, this is like late 90s, late 90s, yeah. And so I said, I'm gonna go talk to August Wilson. Now, granted, this is a giant to me at this point. And I'm not really a writer at this time. And so I had to explain to people why I did this. So I said, I'm gonna go talk to August Wilson. I ain't gonna talk to August Wilson. I said, I'm gonna talk to him. So I walk over, he got his baby in his arms, and I'm like, hey, just want to say I'm Javon Johnson, and I want to let you know I'm the next best playwright that's gonna come out of Pittsburgh. And all he said was, nice to meet you, I'll be looking out for you. And then I went back to the crew, because all my crew was sitting there watching, like, what's he talking about? What he's saying? And I said, yeah, I just told August, that I'm the next best playwright come out of Pittsburgh. You threatened August Wilson? I said, I didn't threaten August Wilson, so that became the running thing. I threatened August Wilson? I said, no. But,
It sounded kind of like a threat.
it wasn't a threat. I was, it wasn't a threat. But the thing behind that is, at the time that I said it, I didn't believe it. But I had so much respect for this man. It was just for me to charge myself. Because I said, if I say this to him, I gotta try to live up to this because I told him that. I looked him in the eyes and said it. So it was me trying to ignite myself. And I used him to do it.
Do you think that did it?
Oh, absolutely. And then I would later meet him in Valdez, Alaska, at the Edward Albee Theater Conference. Edward Albee handpicked an artist that he was personally acknowledging, and August Wilson was the artist that year. Well, they didn't have black actors, and because he was doing a lot of August Wilson's work. And so they knew that myself and Mark Suthers and Derek Sanders, who you guys probably are familiar with, we had a little troupe of black actors. So at that time, I had submitted my first play, Papa's Blues, to the conference. They started putting pieces together, and they said, oh man, it's like 3, 4, 5 black people. So they conference called us and said, hey, can y'all come over? Because we don't have black actors, we doing August Wilson. So it became a whole big free trip for everybody. We go over there. I'm still in college, but I'm doing scenes with Delroy Lindo and Ella Joyce, and we over there doing August Wilson work, and August is there. It's a whole weekend, beautiful Valdez. We all together, we see each other all day, every day. And long story short, my play wins the competition, and August Wilson was getting honored, so at the end of it, it's me and August Wilson. Together, I did, well, I'm gonna tell you what that encounter was. And I didn't know how big the bigger deal this was, because I had a reading of my play. There was a reading of the plays that was in the competition. My reading was at like 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning. August came to my reading. I didn't think much of it. It was everybody else coming to me saying, you had August Wilson get up at 9, come to your reading? I was like, is that a big deal? I was like, oh my God. He came to your reading? And I was like, okay, I guess I need to feel a little different about this because I didn't know. Apparently it was a big thing, but in that, by the time we got to Valdez, Alaska, I had stopped writing because he had such. I always say I met August before I met him, because as a young black man, my first professional play was Corey in Fences at Hilton Head Playhouse. I didn't know. By doing that play, I felt differently about what it meant to be black in America. I was like, dang, this dude feels like, I feel like fatherhood just happened. Like, there was something larger at play that touched me in a way that I'd never been touched before with doing a body of work. So I was like, August is present on me already. And I wasn't even thinking about being a writer or any of that. I was just a student and undergrad at the time. But then I started to write, and I found out that my process and how I became a writer when I talked to August about it was identical to how his organic process and how characters come to him and they talk. And I was like, it freaked me out because it's, there's black people in the South. We don't tell people we're hearing voices and carrying on. I didn't tell nobody nothing. I was like, they like, I'm crazy at that point to my people. What's wrong with you? You hearing voices? You different. You know what I mean? But I'd come to Pittsburgh by this time, and I had a little basement apartment in Shadyside, and I was writing this piece of work called The Spanish Jade.
When was this?
This was in 97. Okay. And I was writing, and I went somewhere, as some of us artists do sometimes. Mm-hmm. I lost track of everything. I lost track of time. I literally, when I came out of it, I looked at the time. I was like, what just happened? I was trying to see what time it was. I literally turned around and looked behind me because I thought August was standing behind me. Mm-hmm. I had not met him. And I literally turned. I was like, because he was that strong, his presence. And I read what I wrote. It was a big monologue, and I said, I didn't write that. I said, this is August. I was like, that's not me. So what happened was I stopped writing because I was like, I can't be August. That can't be what this is. And so I stopped, and I told him when I met him in Valdez, and I said, stop, and I talked to him. I said, listen, you have such a profound influence on me that I cannot write. And he said to me,
You got in trouble?
no, I did not. He said to me, he talked about when he started writing that he was being compared to O'Neill's and all the others. But he said we grew up in a society that identifies something new by what's already existing. And it's a labeled society. And he said, don't worry about that, tell your story. And then I said, oh, I get it. So then I sat down intentionally to purge his influence out of me, and I wrote a play called Hambone, which is an homage to him. And it's the one piece I have that I say it's every bit of August Wilson in me is in that play. And then that began the process of me finding my own voice. That was a transition for me and finding my own voice. Still very influenced by August, but it opened that, it unlocked that block for me, and I soared from that point on.
That's a powerful story. So being, here at the August Wilson House, I'm sure it means a lot to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is actually my first time in here.
That's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen all of it. I'll make sure I go upstairs and see the rest of it. But I think even more impressive is that the community and people have come together to preserve this and give it a purpose and continue his legacy and developing other voices and inspiring other, particularly artists of color and particularly in this community. Because there's a lot of, sometimes we don't have access, we don't have outlets, we don't have guidance, and we're not always included in the bigger number. Sometimes we got to work in a smaller, isolated group so we don't miss anybody. So that's huge.
You do your own thing. We'll talk about that a little bit. That's very, very similar. But so inquiring minds would like to know, and I know we have a lot of people in here who already know, but what brings you back to Pittsburgh?
Well, first, I always
it can't just be for the pierogies and
No, I don't eat any of that. I'm actually trying to eat better, so I didn't mess with any of it. Pittsburgh is just one of those places where I'm always looking for an opportunity to come back. I'm always looking for it, so it's not very hard to get me to come back to Pittsburgh. It's all about timing. Whatever the situation is, it all lines up and I'm coming. But I love the city of Pittsburgh.
You have a play running, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We talk about Is God Is.
Yes, Is God Is. Yeah, that was my segue. We were here. Yes, God Is. You're here.
Patrick Jordan, who was the artistic director at Bare Bones, I had to probably make about 3 or 4 calls to me about getting me to come here. And first it was about directing, and it was like direct NBA. And he was very slick about it because he was like, oh, that's what this play I want you to direct. I was like, cool, let me read it. Let me say that. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, oh, by the way, can you just be in it too? I said, wait a minute, you want me to direct it? Hey, just think about it. Just think about it. Right, then it direct the NBA show. But that's Patrick.
That's talent. What is the play about?
Oh, God.
I know it has something to do with spirituality and motherhood.
At the end of the day, this play is not it's not quite like anything you probably expect to see. Right? It's very different. It massages a few genres in terms of the classical, even the Old Testament. You can find some Old Testament theology in there, Western style. It's a very stylized piece. But at the heart of this piece, which what I love about this piece, it is really examining the rage that women can have in them, but not have permission to seek justice and not have permission to show that rage, and particularly when they've been done and somebody's done damage to them. That oftentimes they don't have a voice, and this piece is really giving a voice to that rage and to that fight for your own position as being a woman in this male-dominated society where you've been taken advantage of and mistreated, and these 2 twin girls whose mom is begging them before she dies to go and fulfill this task of killing their father because he tried to kill them and the whole family, and he went on to have a new life with a new wife and a new family and living on the hills. Yeah, he's living on the hills and all that stuff. And so these girls are like, I got to do this for a mama who they call God. So that's what it is. Yeah, it's pretty.
I see you have some cast members in the audience too.
Yeah. The whole world.
All right, so I hate to ask this question, but what's next for you? I mean, when do you have time? You're acting, you're writing, you're producing, you're on the. We'll get to the influence.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I don't have time to do any of what I do, but I'm not be honest. When I look at it, I say, I should be freaking out.
Thank you for watching this video of Pittsburgh Events. To watch this video again or any other video from Pittsburgh Events, you can go to the YouTube channel as 18 Rico. It's youtube.com/ /18RICCO. Again, thank you for watching, and you can check out this video and any other video from Pittsburgh events and many other videos that didn't make it on TV.
When you look at all the stuff that I do, I'm like, I don't know how I'm getting it done.
You're giving me anxiety.
Yeah. But that's why I try to stay as cool as possible, because if I really look at it in a real way, I'll probably freak out. You know what I mean? It's like I can't look at it that way. I gotta look at it.
That's why you're as cool as you are.
Because I have to be, because I wouldn't be able to function. But yeah, I do. I'm wearing 5 hats pretty much consistently between, running the school in South Carolina, the independent school in Atlanta. I teach there every week, back and forth, filming. I was on call for 2 hours a day before here in pre-production for a film that we're shooting in Atlanta in April. So I'm juggling stuff constantly. And teaching writing classes that I do as well. So
your school's helping actors and people.
Actors and
performing
writers.
arts, yeah.
One of the things that I focus on, a little different, because one of the things that get neglected in the process is the person themselves. Because a lot of this education in the arts becomes about techniques and methods and talent. And it's like, well, what about the individual? You are the actual tool. You are the instrument. And a lot of times you don't know how to deal with the industry. You don't know how to deal with what comes with the industry. You don't know how to take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And this industry is really designed by nature to tear you down more than to build you up. So if you don't know how to protect yourself against that, how to survive that, people crumble. And
I see actors out there nodding. Wally's nodding out there. Yeah.
So I teach from that perspective. It starts with you, because we got to build you up first. You got to get right with you. So that I don't care about the talent. Talent is no shortage of talent. Is everywhere. You can go out, walk down the street and see some talent. There's no shortage of talent, but there's a shortage of people who really know who they are and the value of who they are, and they're aligned with that purpose. And when you get to that place, you're protected. You understand? So that's really where my principles come from.
All this knowledge from a young man from a small town in South Carolina. Did you ever think you would be at this point in your life, acting?
No. As a kid, I used to look at the TV and thought that it was another planet, another world. I didn't think it was a real thing, because growing up in my neighborhood, we never the celebrity was the local newscaster. So if the local newscaster came to school and talked to the students, we'd be like, oh, we just saw Denzel. That was all Denzel, you know what I mean? But that was it. We didn't see any real TV film stars in that community, so it wasn't part of the vernacular for young boys like me to talk about. That's what I want to do. We talked about playing football, or doing rap music, or or being on the corner, being on the block, or going into the textile industry, car manufacturing industry. That was it. Yeah. So no, I didn't think to be here.
I'm sure you are a role model. Okay, so we're going to open up the floor for a little Q&A. Anybody has any questions about the Oval or anything, really? Anything for you to answer anything.
Well, I'm going to just start with something really personal, because I'm a Johnson, and my grandmother's family was in South Carolina. So where is this small town in South Carolina?
Oh, Anderson, near Greenville, Clemson. You familiar?
Okay, I'm not. We were in Orangeburg.
Orangeburg, that's where I went to school, South Carolina State.
Oh my God.
That's in Orangeburg. It's about 2.5 hours.
Now, is that close to 2.5
hours from Anderson.
All right.
I have a question. Look, I have a question. What's going to happen at the end of the Oval?
I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'll tell you right now what's going to happen at the end of the Oval. The end is going to happen. I don't know why you didn't know that.
I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah. Predictable.
Remember, I tried to get it out of you. I tried to get it out of you.
I have no, if you watch this show, who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
This show goes everywhere. You know what I mean? I couldn't guess it.
And you play a butler in the show, right?
Please put some respect on
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry.
I mean, you play a dishwasher. I play Richard Halston, who happens to be a butler.
Oh, well, I was going to say Richard Halston next,
I'm sorry. Yeah, but yes, sir.
So if there's one or two things that you would say is the highlight of your career, what would those one or two things be?
The highlight of my career, I guess I got a rather unique answer to that, but definitely August Wilson. Any and all of what August Wilson. I'll tell you this real quick. This made me want to share this. I was driving, I had a a red Mustang at the time. I was in school, and I was driving down, I think, Forbes Avenue, and I just happened to see August Wilson come out of a store. I'm just driving, I said, that's August Wilson. So I pulled up. I don't know, raised one, hey, hey, young man, blah, blah, blah. And I say, well, we got talking, I said, where you headed? He said, I guess you headed downtown somewhere. I said, come on, give you a ride. Because I didn't know August Wilson didn't drive. And I said, yeah, come on, give me a ride. I'm like, August Wilson in my car, my little Ford Mustang. We in a sports vehicle. August Wilson sitting right next to me. And granted, we didn't really know each other like that, but he's sitting in my car, I'm driving August Wilson downtown, and the whole time, August is just telling me all these stories about every little place we pass by. He's telling me all these stories about these families and these people. And I ain't get a word in. I'm just driving and listening. And then we finally get to where he's going. He got out the car, and I tell people all the time, it felt like there was a big emptiness in my life. When he got out the car, I was like, this man just filled me up with something. And then he got out the car, and I'm like, what happened? Where did it all go? But that was, I said it would turn highlights. Anything with August Wilson was a highlight for me. And I think, kind of what I said earlier, the highlight of my career is me trusting it all. Having faith that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and putting every effort into this thing that I believe is my calling and my purpose. Because anything else is just the rewards for that. It's the fruit of the labor. So yeah, that's what I say.
I think Allegra had a question.
Hi, here's a question / comment. So earlier you mentioned that you were friends with Chadwick Boseman, and so we were classmates at Howard together. And I know that he came to Pittsburgh to do a country play. He was here. Yes, he was here. And at the time I was working at WAMO. I was on air, and I did interview him. I didn't interview him. Angie would interview him. But we were like, hey, Bison, and he was here for a while. Did you know that he also worked with Kuntu?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. We, a lot of people didn't know Chadwick. The acting thing just happened at the level that it happened, but that wasn't Chadwick's goal. His goal was directing. That's what he really wanted to do in the writing. The acting just did what it did. So you really didn't. One of the tragedies of his passing to me is that you guys really didn't get to see who Chadwick Boseman really was. I got to see it on a personal level, but on a global sense, you really didn't get to see the depth of this man and his vision and all the things he brought to this, to the whole world in terms of just working in entertainment that we just got deprived of.
Who was he really? Like in your, I don't know, if you can phrase that.
I guess, Chadwick was one of the most purest human beings I've ever encountered. And what I say about Chadwick is, it's very few people in life that you encounter that they just simply make you better. And Chadwick always made me better. And it was funny because our relationship would shift at times depending on the situation. Sometimes I'm big brother, sometimes he's big brother. Sometimes it's like nephew, uncle. Sometimes it's like it just shifts based on, but that was the ebb and flow of our relationship because we could give to each other. And he just made me better, and I think he made everybody around him better. And if he was in his circle, that means you had permission in a way that's very special because he didn't let people that intimately in his circle unless you qualified.
Mikey, do you remember? You were at WAMO at that time.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's on your record.
That's a good memory, yeah. Yes.
Okay, I got a question. How many plays have you done of August?
Of August, probably around 6. Yeah, probably around 6.
How did you deal with the spirituality in the play?
Well, we from the same root in terms of the spirit of our people. That's universal in terms of the DNA. So it wasn't, I don't have to be from Pittsburgh to feel that. He touched me when I was an undergrad, a little kid who didn't even know who he was. That's beyond my understanding. That's just in me. So it's just a matter of getting out of your own way and allow yourself to be connected to something that's higher. And that's the level he was writing on. That's what he was giving us.
Tanya, here. Tanya.
Earlier, Mikey asked you, did you ever think you would be at this level, at this position? And you said, no. Okay. My question is, I just find it hard to believe the accept that you didn't dream. You didn't have a dream of yourself or what you wanted to be. And the reason I'm saying because of all the success, you had the faith, you had the spirituality. And the reason I'm asking is because you're working with kids. Giving them the permission to dream is so important, and I'm just wondering where that connects with you. You say you didn't have a dream when you got here.
Absolutely. At some point, I got connected to it, and I realized what my calling was, my purpose. But prior to that, I was just all about. I was just taking the journey, right? When I started writing, when I went to South Carolina State University, I wasn't thinking about going to college. I didn't come from a family. I was raised from the maternal side of the family. That was high school diplomas to the family, right? So we didn't talk about going to college. I was walking through high school, and my choir teacher saw me, and I was senior year, and she said, "You going to college?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "You going to college?" She said, "I'm the choir director at South Carolina State, and the music director at South Carolina State University. You going on the choirs coming? I can't sing. I was on the choir in high school. I could be with some tenors and some bass and baritone, but I'm no singer to be getting a scholarship to go to college. But had it not been for her doing that, right? So I go home like, Mom, I said, I'm going to college. She said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Yeah, my house." I said, "The choir teacher said she give me a scholarship." "You got a scholarship? Go to college then. So I was the first in my family to go to college. Now, when I get to South Carolina State University,
You switched your major, right?
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm there. I'm on the choir there at South Carolina State University. It's a very high reputation choir. Like it was well known, right? And the music department was right. There was a big theater building called the NCAA Theater, sitting right there. I would walk by that building every day, and something was telling me to go inside. And it took me a while. In that building. It was big. I'm stuck over here. And so one day I walked in. Long story short, I changed my major. I became the theater president. I got a theater scholarship. But that wasn't. I was doing it, but I didn't think. This is what I'm gonna do for my life. Right? Because again, I didn't come from a community that as we talked about. This was different. I just found something to do. You know what I mean? But I did realize it gave me a voice. It gave me a way to express something that I probably didn't naturally exercise just naturally. So it was really me. It was just saying, I don't know what this is. I don't know where it's going. I'm getting something out of this. But I don't have any plans. I'm going to get an Oscar.
Thank you for watching this video of Pittsburgh Events. To watch this video again or any other video from Pittsburgh Events, you can go to the YouTube channel as 18 Rico. It's youtube.com/18RICCO. Again, thank you for watching, and you can check out this video and any other video from Pittsburgh Events and many other videos that didn't make it on TV.
I'm going to be in major movies. It's just that, and when I graduated South Carolina State University, the only reason I came to the University of Pittsburgh is because I said, man, I feel like I need more training. That was it. It wasn't like I'm going to go on Broadway. I've been on Broadway, but that was never the thought. It was just like, oh, I'm not developing this as much as I want to be. I don't feel like I'm there yet. So let me go to grad school and get a master's degree, which nobody does in my family. And so I kind of went that way until I made the connection. I said, wait a minute, this is actually my purpose. And then I began to have visions about how to connect with my purpose. And that's what I start with my students is, your purpose might not have anything to do with entertainment. Let's get you aligned with what your gift is, and what might be the thing you're here for, what you're here to do. And I'm not going to force any of this on you. We got to find you and get you on track. And that's it.
And it sounds like when you go back home, I'm just guessing, to be from such a small town, what happens when you go into the Walmart? People recognize you, or those same young boys? How does that
Listen, I got people chasing me down aisles. People staring. And you see people like this with their cell phones. I'm over here. And you got all what it is. And then, but when I first went back to South Carolina, I would be, at Walmart particularly. And I remember I used to get insulted. I feel insulted because I'm checking out items and they'll say, hey, I think I know you from somewhere. I know what they're talking about. They ain't figured it out yet. So finally they figured it out. And they're like, oh, I just saw you on TV last night. And then the next thing is, what are you doing here? I said, I was born and raised here. What do you mean you ask me what I'm doing here? So I would get offended, right, on the inside. But then, think on a higher level, I said, wait a minute, they're supposed to ask me that, and I'm supposed to be present because when I was young, I didn't have that experience. So they need to see and be able to touch me. I need to be in front of them so they can say, oh, if he can do it, if he can be at Walmart on aisle 7, get a toothbrush, and be on TV the night before, that means this is a real thing that I could be a part of. So I had to shift how I thought about it.
You're not getting offended, but I get it though. Okay, a couple more questions.
Can I ask, one of my favorite parts about working with you as a director is that all of the conversation is very intimate. It's very near, you're very close, you're very quiet and peaceful. You ask a lot of questions. And I think that's very different from, a lot of directors have a lot of ego. And they want to talk to you from across the room, and they want it to be big, you know? And it's just a beautiful way of this deep, easy, peaceful connection that you have. And so I'm curious about the road from actor to director for you and what your process is like when you go into directing a new show.
Everything I've done has not been by my design. It's just been me trusting it all. I've gone into directing, writing, all that stuff, not sure that I'm qualified, but trusting that I am. And so going to the arena of directing, I didn't make that decision. I was pulled to that direction. And so my whole principle, not just as an artist, but just walking through life, there's enough madness in the world that I don't have to participate. I don't have to destroy myself with all of the chaos, right? As long as you know who you are and you know why you're here, you have peace. And I do everything from that perspective. Being a father, being an artist, being a director, it's always about, I'm already there. I'm already who I am. And I know this journey is about this. So this is a piece of that journey. This is another step to that piece. And we're going to do this in peace. We're going to do this with authenticity. We're going to do this with sharing and giving. It's got to be intimate. Why are we doing it if it's not intimate?
That's good, that's good. Ask the collection plate. Okay, Miss Rita.
Brenda, and two, it's about the relationship. Acting is not just looking at words and spitting out those words. As I talk about teaching kids, it's about taking those words, digesting them, and let them exude through every pore in your being, so it becomes real. And so when you drop all that nonsense about the whole ego mess, you really get down to what it's really all about, and it's about developing and maintaining those relationships. And seeing that, as Rose would say in fences, watching that flower grow. And that's what you're doing in essence with a piece. And also with August Wilson, I live and breathe August Wilson. And it was seeing fences many years ago that I decided to make this turn. Even I did acting, as a child. And it took me 16 years to do fences. And I wanted to so bad. I was able to do it a couple times after. Never got the chance to meet him until death. And I had my private conversation with August Wilson. But there's something about this man, there's something about his words, there's something about the space that he existed in that it just, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Because we can all, whether you are familiar with August Wilson or not, there's something about his work that it exists in all of us. There's nothing more than seeing a street sign that you're familiar with as a child, or knowing what a jitney was because that's where your grandfather, worked out of a jitney stand when you were a kid. But there's just something just so powerful about August Wilson. It's really hard to put into words. I know what I'm feeling and thinking, but listening to you, I get it, get it.
The last question.
Do you know Wally? You know Wally?
Oh, Wally.
I just want to say,
Wally, he was young.
Okay.
My man, I just want to say very briefly, I walked in off the street to theater when I was 36 to 35 years old. No, 36. And Javon was one of the first actors I had met. It was with Come To Repertory Theater. It was a play called Lifting. And I was doing stand-up comedy around the city and just found my way to theater. And Javon is so special. Like, he was an understudy for one of the characters, but he was there all the time, and he even choreographed this fight that I had with this woman. I had to slap her and all this stuff. And Javon, he expertly did it so everything was just as safe as possible. And after that production was over, just 3 months later, we were reading Jitney with August Wilson, me, Javon, at Mark Souther's house. And I mean, it's like, bro, you're a big part of my beginning of where I am now with this August Wilson thing. I remember reading Ham Bone at the National Black Theater Festival with you, bro. I'd be like, man, I love you so much.
And Wally, you've done all of the August Wilson plays, am I right?
Yes, I've done all 10 plus How I Learned What I Learned, which I will be performing Friday. There's a picture of us that we took after reading Jitney with August, and me and Javon are in this picture smiling, and there ain't a gray hair on either of our faces. And I just want to say, man, you part of me. You are part of me, man. I love you, bro.
Do we have time for one more?
And I hope you're understudying him in Is God Is.
She actually grew up just up the block, and so she is quite familiar with this building before it became what it is now. So, Brenda?
Yes. Well, I'm not an actor. Let me get that out for you. I heard you talk about you didn't have a dream. The violence here today. The young African American men. I don't know what your class consists of, the young men, or I don't know who are you teaching? The young men you keep referring.
Did I teach now?
Yes.
It's a range, young people, adults, and it's across the board.
I wish you could bag what you said. I wish you could put all that together, because most of these young men don't have dreams. And it's perfect for them that they don't have a dream, to understand they don't need a dream to do what you do. And they can connect to that. So, I don't know how that could be put together, but it certainly needs to be where these young men, maybe they can get rid of that frustration.
Well, it's the reality of it is, we would love for everybody to be able to dream and have dreams. But we're not in a community all the time where parents don't even have their own dreams. So how do they give their child a dream?
Absolutely.
The community doesn't have a dream, so how did the community give that child a dream? They become a product of that, and so they become dreamless, hopeless people. And they feel like my value is only as far as a couple blocks down the street. That's the only thing I'm worth, right? So it's like, okay, well, we're not going to start with a dream. We're going to start with you being a person that exists, and getting in touch with the fact that you're here for something. And that's beginning that process. Whatever the dream is, it's going to manifest itself as a result of you getting connected. And that's how I approach all of the work.
I see one more person.
Yeah, well, we have one more comment.
I see Kim Fitzpatrick there. Kim?
Well, I have a question. The title of your play is God Is.
I didn't write the play. That's Alicia Harris wrote the play.
Okay, so you talked a lot about dreams and growing up and being inspired others. And so what does that mean to you? Is God Is?
Oh, you gotta come see the play.
No, not
Just give us a little teaser.
No, not the play. I'm sorry, not the
Just
play.
the title.
Just the title itself.
Just the saying is God Is.
Well, I think, I'll relate it to the play. It's all about who God is to you. is, you know, we can get into a lot of politics around religion and we can get distracted and get off course. But at the end of the day, it's really about your relationship with God and you being, you having that relationship that gets you through this whole experience, that you become of value to people around you, the people encountering you. You leave something that, like August did, he left a lot. You know what I mean? He left a lot for us. And ideally, I think we should all live in a way that we leave something of value to this world. And whatever your God is that gets you connected to that, that's what it is for me.
Thank you so much. You definitely left a lot. I can tell with every person in this room tonight, whether you're an actor or not. I was touched. So we really appreciate you being here in Pittsburgh and being here in the Hill District. It means so much to, I can speak for every person in this room. So thank you.
Thank
You're
you
going to
all.
stick around, right?
So much. Thank you, Javon. We really appreciate both of you all being here. Thank you for all of our friends and neighbors and artists and actors, our August Wilson House family, Demetria over there selfieing with Wally. We have Chris Rawson in the back. So Javon, I don't know how much time you have, but if you have any time, I can show you the apartment.
Yeah, I got 20 minutes.
Okay, well, he doesn't have time. So anyway, eat, drink, be merry, be safe going home in this rain. August Wilson House loves you. Please look out for our website. We'll offer some new exciting things, stuff that we're going to be working on soon. We want this place to have life and vibrancy. And so actually, we were here, who was here last Sunday? When we wrapped up the we wrapped up the class for Midsummer Night's Dream in Harlem.
Y'all party.
Am I?
It was a party. It was
My
a party.
So this is a place of art, creative expression, dance, everything, multidisciplinary, and good to see you back. Tours are scheduled, but if people want to do a tour now, they can go around with the one now. Okay, what you talking about?
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so I can bring you more videos on subjects like this and many other topics. Please leave any comments in the comment section. Any questions or comments, I'll get back to them as soon as I possibly can. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.